We got a fun report coming out of the Athletic. We got to talk about it. It's going to be a fun trip down memory lane. And I think a pretty good general analysis of the fact that the Padres have been getting better as a franchise recently. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. Anything you want to drop a comment on below, much appreciated. This video or anything else-wise, we'll get around to making content for it. We got stuff coming out all season long, every day. So that's why I also say hit the subscribe button. But if you don't want to, zero worries. Always happy to talk about Padres baseball no matter what. Padres baseball that I want to talk about is this report here. We will go full screen. I apologize for the small text on the phone users. But this sort of flashback moment capturing type of report here from the Athletic of the Padres have not been in first place this late in the season since this point in 2010. Crazy to me to think that it's been 15 years since the Padres have been in it. And I get that there's a sense of like, okay, if you're in it, but you don't win the World Series, does it really matter? And sure, success can be measured a bunch of different ways, but just the thought of like, it's been that long that it's been somebody else and not us. And we've always been having to be like, oh, if we go on this streak or if we catch up this, like we're in it to here. It's been so long since. And yes, I know that I'm showing you that the Padres and the Dodgers are tied, but in so much that the Padres and the Dodgers are way ahead of everybody else. They are two very good teams, duking it out to be the top. Like, this is a storyline, even though they aren't even in first place, I guess, as of us recording this video. But you get what I'm saying, that at any point between now and the end of the season, if they take back into first place, it is thinking back to the fact that we have gone from, or what, like, that we now have this, which is several high-ticket, multi-million-dollar guys, long-term contracts that, hey, you know what? Xander is, let me not be accused of Xander pander, but I am pro Xander Bogaerts being now back to being worth it. Maybe nobody is ever worth it, quote unquote, but you get what I'm saying. Like, we got some guys here. We got some real dogs. And to then think back to, okay, well, you just, I don't know, comparing the two of these, I thought it would be I would be curious to know, because like I said, I love dropping the comments, but I'd be curious. This one, it sparked a discussion in our group chat between me and Andrew and our producers and stuff, that was kind of a generational divide. I found out that he and I were born on differing sides of the 1998 World Series, and while I was still only a kid there, it was something that, like, I actually functionally remember. So I think it got me thinking, you think about different eras at different times in your life of different baseball consumption and how you associate with them, and sometimes there's recency bias and all that, but let's, soak this lineup in. Look at maybe this lineup or some permutation of it. Who wins? Am I being crazy to think that the today's lineup is infinitely better? And I wanted to initially jump to the excuse of like, oh, that Padres team was playing in a weak division, but that was the Giants in an even year in the middle of they win World Series every even year stride. So it's the NL West was represented as being the best division in baseball because of having the champion, I think. And yeah, maybe it's recency bias, and maybe it's the way that I watch it or how I consume it, or I was just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of maybe just that season, the way that season ends makes me think that those guys were all scrubs. But I'm just curious. Again, I'll show you these 9 or some, I guess 10 because pitcher. There's another issue. You can't fully put all of the pieces one-to-one. I get it. But let me know. Drop a comment between that squad and this squad on who you think would win. But it also kind of just got me thinking overall trajectory of, like, what is the goal of the Padres every year in terms of, yes, it is a World Series, but it's also, to me, it's the desire to be competitive and be producing a product that is net positive cash. Like, if you really boil it down to it, what you want is the Padres to be a cash flow machine so that they can generate more money to it. I guess at the very least right now we're saying hold on and tread water to this lineup, because the lineup that we are talking about here, it includes this bullpen. It includes starting pitching. And there are going to be some pieces coming and going just naturally anyway through the attrition of baseball. So I don't need to get bogged down in the, like, I'm not trying to say what's good for baseball money right now saves Cease or King, or like, but it just, in the broader picture of things, affording all of these pieces for the Padres is somewhat a reflection of their commercial relevancy and viability as a product. And I think it is interesting to think that the Padres and Dodgers being tied like this, like I said, being so far ahead of everybody, and actually going into September. Let's say that the Padres and Dodgers 2 out of 3 split it up, 3 out of 2 split it up, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3, net 0 gain in the next 2 series, and remain within a game or game and a half of each other down the stretch. That's fantastic baseball. That's a September of, hopefully the Padres are some Sunday night baseball games. Hopefully the Padres are featured a little bit more heavily in social media. I'm not trying to necessarily say, like, oh, if we hit this threshold, then we make this money. But it does seem to me that the concept of, like, when you look back at a team that, and again, maybe I'm just throwing shade here unnecessarily, but like these guys did not have any real, I don't believe that this squad had anything really to do with being in first place. This is not a first place team, in my opinion. This is not a team that generates sold out stadiums and then propels itself to be able to sustain a larger and better lineup. This is a team that every bit of the fundamental process had to be broken down, and Peter Seidler had to come along. And I think that if we are allowed to further memorialize that man, maybe this squad is not exactly his, but it's the core bones of it are his and are going to be his for a couple more year, like a 5 more year stretch potentially. And I think that's really fun to see that now it's looking back that, like, his legacy turned us into, oh, wow, those guys were in first. That's kind of crazy, but that was 15 years ago now. And beyond that, not much dominance. Into now, like, hey, we're one of, if not the most interesting baseball divisional races, and a real product that sells out stadiums, sells merchandise, generates the kind of money and buzz that you would hope then propels the economy of being able to continue to be competitively involved in salary. And I know there's going to be potentials of work stoppages and holdouts and caps. And what I'm trying to say is that it seems like it has gone from to oh. I think that's enough said. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to hit subscribe, it would be much appreciated. If not, though, no worries. Talk to you guys next time.